Welcome to Inside Monster Jam, powered by Lucas Oil, the official Monster Jam podcast. I'm Scott Jordan. It is World Finals week. This is World Finals Champions Edition, and we are poolside in LA. My first guest is now a two-time World Finals champion. It's my pleasure to welcome back to the show El Toro Loco's Armando Castro. Armando, welcome back and congratulations, man.
Thank you so much, Scott. Man, what an amazing night last night was for everybody and for me exactly. And being so close to home, man, winning the two-wheel skills, it means the world to me.
I know whether you won this in Nashville, Orlando, it still would have been a big deal for you. But to be so close to home, to be in Los Angeles, representing so many Latinos that are out there, that has to have a little extra butter on the bread for you, right?
Yeah, man, absolutely. Like I said, I grew up watching this as a kid, man, and there's not many of us in the industry, man, and to be one of the first ever to call, a Latino champion, man, that right there kind of solidifies, for myself and everybody has looked up to me, and it's just so surreal because I looked up to so many competitors that I get to compete with, every weekend, and now that people are looking up to me, it's just a dream come true, Scott. And man, to do it here at home, beautiful Los Angeles, man, my backyard, LA, having my family and friends in the crowd, and they got to see me. Many actually never got to see me. This was actually my first time actually performing in front of them, and it was just a surreal moment. I can't believe that actually happened, but we're gonna accept it, and we're gonna roll with the punches.
You got out of the truck after that second hit, which, man, you pulled that out of nowhere. Like, I was going nuts in the broadcast booth, but you got down on your knees, you kissed the dirt. What was going through your head when you knew you landed it and the score came in?
Yeah, I was very disappointed. I was telling everybody I was just so embarrassed. I was upset. My first attempt, as you've seen, it was really, really slick out there, and I was talking to my crew chief, and, once we came out to the bag, I said, man, we got to do something crazy for the second attempt. And that's exactly what we did. I just wanted to get on the board. That was literally the plan, was to go out there and just try to get bronze or, third place or whatever. Just get on the board, man. We got invited to compete as Monster Jam World Finals two-wheel skills. We have to dominate. We got to show that we can actually do something here. So, I got it up on two wheels, and meanwhile, my crew guy, Elliot's telling me, hey, man, there's like a little lip in front of you. You should just hit it and see what happens. I said, man, that's not gonna work. So I'm literally talking to him in my mic as I'm doing this two-wheel skill stuff, and I told him, man, I don't think it's gonna work. He's like, dude, this is the Monster Jam World Finals. There's only one way to find out.
This is all happening while
this
you're
is
doing
all
the trick,
happening
right?
as I'm doing the trick right now, and I'm actually approaching, and I looked visually, and I said, well, the left side's a little kind of, I guess, collapsed. I don't know if it's gonna work. And that's when he said, man, you got 20 seconds left. Just do it. I was like, okay, I did a little prayer, and I'm like, all right, here we go. And it happened so fast and so, I was in awe. Yeah. And when I landed, I don't know if you guys seen the excitement, I literally slammed it in reverse, because I was like, oh my God, that just happened. And I got on my truck. I was just overwhelmed with so much emotion. I've been through so much this year, and just to win the Arena Series Championship, man, and the two-wheel skills, I'm living my childhood dream in front of everybody, and I just can't thank, just to be on this platform, it's just it's unbelievable.
That's a big year for you. Series champion, now World Finals champion. What's next for Armando Castro?
Man, I don't know. I'm honestly, I'm good now. No. And it's all about what's next. And I ask myself that every single time I step in the truck. And I'm not gonna stop. I'm not satisfied just with these two. And I'm still gonna be the same person, man, win or lose, and just go out there and have fun. If I can do that, and if I can hopefully defend the Arena Series Championship, if I get bumped up to stadium, I guess time will tell. But for now, we're going to enjoy it and just kind of ride the roller coaster, man. Ride the train as long as we can, have fun, and just inspire as many people as I can. And it's just so surreal to just be on this big platform like Monster Jam. And like I said, I grew up watching this as a kid, and now that I'm doing it, it's unbelievable. But we're gonna accept all the glamour and fame, but I'm still the same person. I'm gonna have fun out there and just inspire the world.
You had the Triple Threat Series Championship in 2019. Now that you have a Great Clips two-wheel skills challenge, a sense that you've really arrived and established yourself, and now you are as big a star as I know you are.
Yeah, it's so crazy. When I started in 2017, it was just more of like a, hey, man, it's so cliche to say, you call yourself a champion as a young rookie. I try to compete with the top dogs that were doing big things, like Ryan Anderson, Tyler, Tristan England. I've got to do shows with those guys a handful of times, and I've always been, I felt like the black sheep. I've always been that wrench that everybody kind of not really doubted, but was like, hey, man, I don't really see him winning. What are the odds of him winning? But like I said, I knew how big this World's Final was gonna be, and like I said, being so close to home, I just had to just throw everything I had in the bag on the floor, and it worked in our favor. And it's just so surreal to just call these guys friends. At the end of the day, people that I looked up to are now my friends, and we're battling now every single weekend. It's just so surreal to me, and man, I just want to be the best role model I can, just not to myself, my family, my friends, everybody watching. There's so many people look up to me, and like I said, if I can do it, anybody can do it. Just you got to believe in yourself, never take no for an answer. And like I said, man, it's so crazy to call myself a world champion, I guess 2 times, and it's unbelievable.
Armando, congratulations once again, my man.
Thank you.
Armando Castro, Toro Loco, Great Clips, Two Wheel Skills Challenge, World Finals champion. Coming up next, Colt Stephens joins the show. That's next on Inside Monster Jam, powered by Lucas Oil. Welcome back to Inside Monster Jam, powered by Lucas Oil. It's World Finals Champions Edition, and my guest now is a 2-time World Finals champion winning Lucas Oil high jump. It is a reunion that you all keep asking for. Colt Stephens, my former broadcast partner, back next to me again, where you belong, my friend. Congratulations.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I get to sit next to you again, but both times it's been with a World Finals Championship. I can't beat that.
I can't get rid of you, man. You just keep winning. Man, what a moment for you. We talked last year in Nashville, coming out of the broadcast booth to win a World Finals Championship. Never been done before. Now you go back-to-back in 2 years, and you are one of very few drivers in Monster Jam history now to have multiple World Finals wins, man. So how are you feeling 24 hours after your second win?
I think you just nailed it on the head right there. Being a multiple-time champion is just crazy. We don't have a lot of those drivers here, and to be on that list of drivers alone with 1 championship and now have 2 with high jump as well is just absolutely epic, and I think it's kind of a staple, and I really wanted to be back in the truck. You knew I wanted to be back in the truck, and it's like, hey, we were supposed to be here, and I've proven that that's where I want to be and need to be.
And you absolutely proven that that's where you belong. And I don't regret any minute of our 2 years together. But this is where you belong. Let's talk about the competition. You had a chance to watch a couple trucks go before you. Ryan had a different philosophy that really changed the game with the brake check. You nailed it.
Right.
Yesterday. How were you able to get that exactly right where you needed it?
Well, first off, I put a little extra turns in the shocks. I've been thinking about it. We bounce it off. A lot of people talk about high jump, and they're like, you just hold the pedal to the metal and hope for the best. But there's actually a little bit of skill that goes into it, and a little bit of prep that you have to actually think about whenever you're doing it. Because the biggest thing for me, too, was getting that number 7 spot or being in the second half, so at least you could watch a little bit. I thought the track was going to be wet, which it was, and then it was going to be slick. You need to get traction. Spinning's not winning. You don't want that truck to be slipping and going and sliding before you even hit the ramp, because you got to hit those metal ramps. So I was watching very closely. So the first thing was definitely getting that number 7 spot, being able to watch. And I saw Ryan really hold it, really just what he called just getting after it off the line. And it didn't really work out for him. And then Barry went as well, which was right before me. And I saw his truck almost get sideways off the line and him have to check up. And I was like, you know what? If I can just get some traction and get there, wind this thing up like a rubber band, even like it's hooked to a rubber band, just really get it to roll all the way through and make sure and hit those metal ramps, that we could come out on top. But I think a little bit of secret sauce with Shelby, putting the little turns in the rear, got that rear end to really bounce up because it was measuring off the bottom of the rear tire. So I knew I had to really get it to come over. And it worked out for us, man.
Was that something that she brought to you, or is that something that you mentioned to her to maybe this is what we need to add for this to really work?
She asked me about shock settings, and I said, hey, let's run our regular freestyle stuff, which we run kind of higher pressures. I'm known for big air, and that's kind of, I run a little bit higher pressures than everybody else. But I was like, you know what? Let's go ahead and give it a shot. Let's get an extra turn in the rear and really try and get that thing to rebound hard off the rear. And I'll tell you what, it did. And it did exactly what I wanted it to. And it landed perfectly. I mean, coming down from that high is pretty crazy. I mean, it's a weird feeling, and it was great.
You have had such an interesting career. You're going back to your days in Doomsday where you couldn't tell anybody you were driving. And then you go and become the 3rd member of the Brodozer team and driving off and on. Then you get in the broadcast booth, and now you finally get an opportunity to come back to the truck. Do you feel like this second World Championship really gives you some retribution and kind of maybe takes away maybe a little bit of that chip that you had on your shoulder?
I think it definitely does, Scott. It was been a crazy career. Just ups and downs and fighting for that spot and wanting to have my name up there. And then now we're 2 years later, finally get my own truck. I know I got my teammate Tony, but kind of Thunder Roar's has kind of been my baby a little bit, I feel like. And going out there and getting 2 championships has just been absolutely awesome, to put that truck on top with only being out for 2 years and both years coming away with a World Finals championship is just absolutely epic. And I really think that makes a staple in my career. I still think I have a long ways to go, and I'm never satisfied. I'm my biggest critic. I was still mad yesterday after freestyle. I win a championship in high jump, but you know what? I wanted that freestyle one bad, and I'm always fighting, and I don't think we're done. We got a lot more in the tank.
You did win the championship yesterday in front of your former teammates, Diesel Dave
Yep.
and Heavy D. Did you get a chance to catch up with them?
Yeah, I did. I actually talked to them quite a bit. We were in Salt Lake a few weeks ago. They were there doing This is Monster Jam intro. So I got to hang out with them, and it was great talking to them as well. And then right before freestyle, I got to see them again. I kind of sat in the stands, and I actually told Heavy D, I'm going to go out there and put on one of those Heavy D. And it actually worked out for me in freestyle. I got a little crazy, got a little save, ended up breaking the truck a little early. But it was definitely cool seeing those guys and being back in the stadium with them at a Monster Jam event.
We're going to Salt Lake City next year for World Finals. That's their backyard, so I'm sure they're going to be very involved in that. But let's talk about what you're going to do next year at World Finals. So a third championship on the radar for you, never satisfied?
Never satisfied. I'm going for it. I mean, I figure now I got 2 of the 4. Now I just need to get a racing one, and then hopefully I can get a bit into skills. So I've been working on that really hard, trying to get better at my skill stuff, and maybe I can get a bit into there. Maybe I want to get all 4. I mean, how cool would that be to have all 4 championships? But I mean, I'm always after all of them, But I would definitely like to have the quadruple championships.
Of course. I mean, why stop at 4? Let's make it 5 or 6.
Let's just keep going, man. I got a long ways to catch Tom, but maybe we could get there.
Did you get a chance to talk to your dad?
I have. Yeah, I have. That was really cool, man. He was texting me constantly. He was super proud. He actually was telling me as the thing was going, I got an iWatch, and he was texting me going, hey man, nobody's getting no traction, and I short shifted, get up there, so he's talking to me constantly. He always knows what's going on. Sometimes he doesn't have the right answer.
Right.
He's a little old school, but sometimes he does, and it worked out.
All right, cool, man. Absolute pleasure seeing you, my friend. Congratulations. Get super proud of you, brother.
Thank you.
Looking forward to the future. Up next, Zack Garner is here. The JCB Racing Champion is next on Inside Monster Jam, powered by Lucas Oil. Welcome back to Inside Monster Jam, powered by Lucas Oil. It's World Finals Champions Week here at Poolside in LA, and my next guest lit the world on fire by winning the JCB Racing competition. Zack Garner, welcome to Inside Monster Jam. Congratulations, man. Big night for you.
You know what? Thank you very much. It's an honor to be here. It's an honor to be able to win the World Finals Racing Championship. It's honestly a dream come true for me. It still really hasn't set in, but you know what? We had some fun last night, made some upsets. Hopefully we put our name out there a little bit farther in the record books, but you know what? Out here having fun and definitely waiting to see more.
It was the most exciting racing competition I think I've ever witnessed at Monster Jam World Finals. We were witnessing upset after upset. It seemed like every big name in the bracket was going down and nobody was safe. But yet here's Wildside, one race after another, fastest time. How were you able to get through the bracket so unscathed?
You know, honestly, for me, it was definitely my crew guy, Elvis, coming through on the headset. Every time I pull out there on the line, I'd hear him just say, take a deep breath. And that was after he ran all the way from the hot pits back up to the stands to watch. And I could hear him taking a deep breath. And I radioed back to him a couple times. I was like, I think you need the deep breath more than I do right about now. So just trying to stay in there, stay calm, cool, and collected. When I went out second round to race Adam, he took the right lane. I was like, I really hope he doesn't stick me over there. I really like this left lane. I got the left lane. We kept it all night, and it worked out for us.
What was particularly about that blue lane that you like so much?
Honestly, it's just going into that berm first. I just felt like I had a good entry to it and a good exit. Kind of could control myself a lot better than trying to come into it with way more speed coming from the jump. And just kind of staying calm, cool, and collected in that lane and make sure I hit my marks each and every time. And that's where I actually had my fastest practice pass as well. So just tried to stay there.
Yeah, so you talk about your crew guy, Elvis Linez. Is it how valuable is it to you to have a guy in your ear that has been there and has raced in Monster Jam and knows the ins and outs of these tracks?
He was always up there in the stands basically telling me what the track was doing, what everything was doing. So being able to get that insight when you're back there in the back, you can't see much except the trucks in front of you that are staging. Being able to hear all that and figure out what kind of game plan you need, it's absolutely unreal.
You made history last night as the first driver to ever win the World Finals Racing Championship in their first main field appearance. So incredible to get yourself in the record books as an independent driver. How much more does that mean to you, knowing that you really put your name out there? You know,
it's like I've always said, it's a dream come true to even just be driving a Monster Jam truck, and then to make the Monster Jam World Finals was a dream come true for me. I wanted to do so much cool stuff, and then being able to coming into race, I knew I had to keep that calm, cool, collected mindset. And we did it, and getting to put the name in the record book as the first one to basically as an independent to come in on the first time, win racing is absolutely unreal for me.
Well, somebody that was not calm, cool, and collected was your dad, Jamie Garner. He, it was funny because when the competition started, he seemed like himself, you know, and then with every round, you could see him really start to whittle away a little bit more. Were you able to talk to your dad at all during the bracket, or did you have to wait till after?
It was all till after. He basically stayed up there. Him and Leslie actually talked before, like, pit party started. We were all sitting there talking. He goes, I'm not even going to watch. I'm going to stay in the back corner, stay far away because I'll be a nervous wreck and everything else. And then I didn't get to see him or nothing until after he came down. Chris poured the water on me. Then I was getting hugged from all kinds of different directions. I didn't really know what was going on. I just knew the water definitely felt pretty good on the head until I put the helmet back on.
I know you talking to Jamie in the past. It's tough for him sometimes to find that line between team owner and dad. But last night was full dad mode for him. So when you guys embrace it, what was he able to talk? Did he say anything to you?
You know, he really wasn't getting any words out. It was more just kind of sobs and everything else. Then it got me crying. I'm pretty sure everybody else in the whole stadium started crying at that point. But that moment was pretty surreal. I wouldn't change it for the world. You know, we've had so many family members fly out here to LA. My girlfriend, everybody flew out to come support me at my first ever World Finals, and then to be able to come out here with a win, it's just a dream come true, man.
As an independent driver, winning a world championship, what does that do to elevate your career? Obviously, it's a huge deal, but you know we haven't seen in years past. I think Jimmy Cretan was the last one to win racing as an independent. What does that do for you moving forward?
You know, for me, it just kind of gives me that confidence boost that I never always had. I always knew I could race, but I never knew I could actually be a good racer and actually win a championship or kind of stay consistent and stay out of my own head. But for me, it's just going to be like kind of stay in the same mindset and basically it's just stay humble, because you can't ever let it get to you, because when you get in kind of an ego, I guess you could say, you can kind of start letting your head swell, and then you can't ever race yourself again. You beat yourself up if you lose.
Well, I know you haven't had a whole lot of time to celebrate it. I'm sure you will, but you also have to start thinking about defending this racing championship. Now you have a bullseye on your back. Everywhere you go, everybody wants to beat you now.
Yeah, that is a fact there. I was going to say, after Tristan won his last year, we did a Savannah, Georgia, and I think every round me and him raced, I think I beat him. So I was like, man, this is going to be kind of weird, you know, coming into this. But it's always a fun time racing everybody. I love racing. That's always been kind of my thing, because that's one thing they can never take away from you is you win straight up, you went straight up and down, it's all you.
It's immortality for you, man. Congratulations again, buddy.
Thank you very much.
Zack Garner, the JCB Racing World Finals champion. Up next, Tyler Menninga joins the show. That is next on Inside Monster Jam, powered by Lucas Oil. Welcome back to Inside Monster Jam, powered by Lucas Oil. It's World Finals Champions Edition, and my final guest also just became a two-time World Finals champion, winning the BKT freestyle competition. Tyler Menninga, welcome back to Inside Monster Jam.
Yeah, man, thanks for having me. It was an awesome night last night, and I'm excited. Finally adding that to my my resume.
Yeah, man, congratulations to you. First of all, I want to say that shirt is epic, and my new favorite, I need to get one like that. I've got socks and shoes, and now I need to add that. So
Yeah.
well done.
Thank you.
Yeah, let's talk about freestyle, man, because when I chatted with you earlier this season on Inside Monster Jam, you said that it was racing or freestyle were the ones that you really wanted. You had the skills championship, and then you freestyle. You come out, the track, relentless, unforgiving. You conquered it with the run of the night, got the score of the night, and then won it. So what was your strategy going into that run?
Honestly, I think the only person that I didn't get to watch, whether it was on the TV in the back or live in person, was Colt Stephens. And yeah, everybody was, I 100% get their attitude going in. It's, you know, it's the World Finals. You got to roll the dice. You got to push it. And usually that works. And I'm bad about pushing myself at World Finals and going big right from the start. But last night it kind of paid off. The track it was just traps everywhere. And everybody was going big. And the guys that weren't falling in those traps were breaking early. And just nothing was going right for a lot of the guys out there. So I sat back in my truck and I was like, man, there's 2 hits out there I want to do. Other than that, I was debating. I was like, do I take it easy or do I ride the lightning right now? Yeah. And I still honestly don't know what that answer is. And I don't think I ever made that decision. But I just went out there and I was like, man, I just need to pace myself, not take it easy, but not go out super big right away. And just continually build that up as the run goes on and end on a big wow moment.
Obviously, going out late was a huge advantage for you. You were one of the final 4 Monster Jam trucks to come out on the track. When you got your number in the order, was that right away you thought it was an advantage that you had going that late?
No, honestly, I thought it was a disadvantage, to be honest. Usually, the first big wow moment is your winner, no matter what happens after that. And it's unfortunate it happens like that. And thank goodness that Monster Jam's, brought professional judges in for these big marquee events like this, where championships are on the line. But it was an advantage last night because of that track and being able to sit back, watch what was working, watch what wasn't working, and okay, this gap's too big, this gap was good, and this jump's bad, this jump's good type of deal. But it was an advantage last night for sure.
Yeah, there were, I think, a lack of wow moments in the competition because when drivers were hitting a backflip, they were not able to continue after that, and then some weren't even making it to the backflip, and they were breaking on a jump. So with your strategy, you're not going too big. When you sat back and you saw some of these drivers breaking on the backflip, did that go into your philosophy that late in the run that, you need to hit it, but you need to hit it a certain way?
No, I stuck to my usual on that. I actually cheated it up a little bit. I usually backflip on a normal stadium event at 45 seconds left to go. I chose to do it at a minute. And actually, my plan was to do a backflip, land, do another backflip into a moonwalk. And honestly, the first one just got too good to me, and it gave me that moonwalk opportunity, and screw it, I'm moonwalking this thing away from here. So, and that was, it was probably a little over a minute in because I was on the other side of the track and I knew all the backflip ramps, which ones were good, which ones were bad. And I had one picked out, and he's like, hey, you got a minute left. And I was on the other side of the track. So I had to get over to my backflip ramp in a hurry then.
Ryan Anderson closed the competition, and you've been around long enough to know, usually what happens if Ryan Anderson closes out a freestyle competition. There was a great shot of you up on the video board at SoFi Stadium while you waited for the score to come in, but there was also a shot of you during Ryan's run where you let out kind of a sigh because he had a decent run. So what was going through your head while you were watching Ryan do this run? Because that was all that stood between you and a championship.
Right. To be honest, it was, I was nervous. Obviously, I don't want Ryan to go out there and break. I want Ryan to go out there and do good. I want him to go out there and burn that truck down like he always does. But he was going, and I was that close to having, a racing or freestyle title, the two that mean the most to me. And I was watching his run going, man, he is killing it right now. Yeah. I said, he has got this thing wrapped up. And then that final barrel roll he did, I was like, man, there's no way. And his crew chief, Bryce, was standing there. I said, dude, there's no way you guys didn't get that. Like, I didn't know what my run looked like at that time. I think it was closer now that I watched my run than I thought it was. I think the only thing that separated me is my last backflip was a surprise. It wasn't off a backflip ramp. It wasn't, nobody expected it. That was kind of the wow moment that kind of sealed the deal for my run, I think.
Well, congratulations, man.
Thank you.
Appreciate you being here. That's a wrap from LA. Thanks for joining us. I'll see you right here next week on Inside Monster Jam, powered by Lucas Oil.